Simply the best. Rangers champions.
Tannadice, May the 24th, 2009. The drama was intense and the joy was tangible as Rangers romped to a magnificent final day 3-0 victory over Dundee United to clinch the Clydesdale Bank SPL Trophy for the first time in 4 years. 6 days later, the ecstatic supporters were celebrating a domestic double when Falkirk were defeated in the Scottish Cup final. It was a tremendous end to a memorable season. The loyal support basked in the glory and hoped for more of the same in the coming year. For Rangers, the 2009-10 campaign was set to become one of the greatest in the club's long and illustrious history. The 2009-10 campaign began with pre-season in Germany. Previously, the club had benefited greatly from such trips, and this year was no different.
Obviously, pre-season's a vitally important part of the team's preparation for the season ahead. And I think the training camp we go to in Germany takes a little bit of beating, actually. I've been involved, with Rangers for a good number of years, prior as a player and now as assistant manager. You're fortunate enough to go to a lot of good training facilities, but the place in Germany is absolutely superb. The games in Germany are very good as well, because you do get, you can get any level of opposition that you require. In recent years we've been starting off with some lesser opposition in terms of quality, and finishing up with a couple of games against the Bundesliga teams.
There was an element of foreboding as it became clear that no new faces would be brought in to aid the quest of defending the championship. So it was down to the players who triumphed the previous season. With intense training underway, it was time for some much-needed match practice, and Rangers took on Bundesliga side Nuremberg and semi-pro outfit SC Wiedenbrück 2000, comfortably winning 2-0 and 3-0 respectively. The club returned to the UK to compete in the prestigious Emirates Cup tournament, where they triumphed 1-0 over French side PSG, but were then on the end of a 3-0 defeat at the hands of hosts Arsenal. 3 days later, a 3-2 win over Manchester City at Ibrox raised the spirits, but the final match of the pre-season campaign ended in disappointment, with a 2-0 defeat away to Portsmouth. So there were mixed results in the build-up to the new campaign, but the preparation had been excellent, the players were in good shape, and it was time for the serious business to start. Ibrox was packed to the rafters as the league championship flag was unfurled on the opening day of the new campaign to the delight of the fans, and Rangers kicked off the defence of the title in style.
Whittaker takes it down. Davis, slack one for McCulloch. McCulloch does well though to retrieve the situation, and he goes for goal and he finds it. Oh, what a strike by Lee McCulloch! Quite superb from McCulloch in that central midfield role. What a tackle and what a finish that is. Arfield heads it on to O'Brien. This won't be a chance for Falkirk, and indeed it's turned into the net by Carl Finnegan, and Falkirk are level. Stevie Smith in for the suspended Sasa Papac today, getting his chance, as is John Fleck as he cuts in field from the left. Is it off for Davis, his chance to shoot. Instead he thinks to the back post where Kenny Miller's waiting, and Miller puts Rangers back in front. Well picked out by Stephen Davis, and an emphatic header from Miller. Maybe we're looking for options, finds Naismith. That's a nice play between Miller and Davis. Kenny Miller, he's got options left and right, he's going all the way himself. What a goal by Kenny Miller. It's his second of the match. And that really was a superb effort. He used the runs left and right as decoys. And a terrific finish past Olejnik. Lovely play in the first instance between himself and Davis. And his eye was only for goal. There's Miller. Slips it through in the direction of Steven Naismith. He's got the wrong side of Jackie McNamara, and it's 4 for Rangers. Oh, it's a rather flattering scoreline on the balance of play. Steven Naismith won't care too much about that. He's gone off the mark for the season. Jackie McNamara might feel he could have done better.
A fine start to the campaign, and for the rest of the month the goals kept on coming, with victories over Hearts and Hamilton.
Jonsson, Ian Blank inside him. Thompson comes to close him down, and Kevin Thompson comes to wipe him out, and Kevin Thompson could be off. It's the top pocket, it's the red card from Craig Thompson. And with 30 minutes gone at Tynecastle, Kevin Thompson goes through Ian Blank. The two number 8s collide, and Kevin Thompson is off. Play done by Abua. Wallace, was he taken out? Play on, says the referee. David Wittenbeam. Wittenbeam, touch up to Nadi. Nadi returns it, low shot, is squibmed away from the goalkeeper and in. The opening goal for Hearts comes from David Wittenbeam. Stevie Smith. There's plenty of targets. Hearts defending deep. McCulloch up with a header. And there's the equaliser for Rangers. They've been pressurising Hearts, and it's yielded the equaliser from the head of Lee McCulloch. Along comes Chris Boyd in the final few minutes. 7 years since he scored at Tynecastle. He was a killie player then. Ball's played through. Bouzid catches Naismith. Referee says penalty. In the final minute of the 90, Craig Thompson points to the spot. And Ismail Bouzid is penalised, coming right across the body of Naismith, and the referee said penalty. And Rangers can win it at the death. Chris Boyd, 6 Rangers goals against Hearts, all at Ibrox. Can he score at Tynecastle? He can! Chris Boyd, with his first meaningful touch, will secure all 3 points for Rangers, plants the penalty past Janis Balog, and Rangers will win it at Tynecastle.
For Stephen Davis. Davis picks out Stephen Whittaker. He's got Boyd and Miller in the middle. He doesn't need either of them. Stephen Whittaker with a fine finish. But look at the slide rule pass from Davis to pick him out. Split the Hamilton Accies defence wide open. Kenny Miller through the legs of Gary Mason. That's nice from Miller. Rather loses control of the ball, but it's given away to Stephen Naismith. Back for Papach. Up in the air from Simon Mensing. Boyd's underneath it, gets the head to it, and it's into the back of the net. Well, Czerny didn't even seem to dive for the ball there. Well, Boyd out-muscled Mark McLaughlin there. And the header past Thomas Czerny. Back in field for Stephen Davis. Naismith makes the run, that's where the ball goes. Naismith with a chance there for Chris Boyd. It's a double for Chris Boyd, but that was a beautiful move from Rangers. Chris Boyd finishes it off with aplomb, but there must have been a good 20 passes that led up to that goal. Stephen Davis has been everywhere this afternoon, and he's linked up so well with this man, Stephen Whittaker. And he does so again. Whittaker, it opens up for him on the left foot. Stephen Whittaker! Well, that's the best of the lot so far. It's a 4th goal for Rangers. It's a 2nd for Stephen Whittaker, and he really is playing with some confidence at the moment, the full-back. There's Mark McLaughlin, and it's in off the bar, and it's a consolation for Hamilton Accies, but it'll make no difference to the final outcome.
It's always important, I think, to start the season well. I mean, you know, when we're looking now, I stress to all the players that, you know, over a period now that, you know, the margin of error in Scotland is very tight. So it's important that right from the start of the season there's a realisation that you've got to win and keep winning.
There's a definite belief amongst the squad that we're capable of going out and competing, obviously doing well. And as I say, it was our aim at the start of the season to get the title back. And that was the big one for us.
Retaining the league's always the, you know, is the be-all and end-all. That's the first thing you've got to tick off, the first box you've got to tick. You've got to, you know, that's got to be your primary focus, and you've got to make a good challenge in that. You know, but otherwise people won't be happy and people will write you off, and you know that's always, I think, number one on the list, and then also the cups and Europe and things like that. You know, they're all the sort of the extra things that go along with it that make it even more special. But I think your sort of bread and butter is the league, no doubt.
As August drew to an end, the transfer window also was closed for another summer, and Rangers welcomed a last-day loan deal for French winger Jérôme Roten. In total, 8 players left the squad over the summer, with the most notable exits from Ibrox being Barry Ferguson, Christian Daly and Charlie Adam, who all moved to England to continue their football, and Brahim Hemdani, who returned to France. September signalled the start of the Champions League group phase, and Rangers' first game of the campaign would take them to Germany. Rangers faced a plucky Motherwell side in the league.
Roten, that's a great cross. And Buchanan up, and it's saved by the goalkeeper. John Ruddy down exceptionally quickly. He yelled at his defence as he got back up. Lovely ball in. Buchanan was there, and it's the left boot of John Ruddy that keeps it 0-0. Once more, Rangers trying to get men out. Buchanan, a patch there as well. Jukovic goes down. Referee says penalty. Referee Dougie McDonald didn't hesitate. Lucas Jukovic went down. Maciej Buchanan is incensed at the decision of the referee. The foot comes across, the man went down. He looked like he was stumbling slightly, but Buchanan's foot certainly touched the foot of the striker. Yellow card comes out for Maciej Buchanan. He is certainly not happy. He continues to show dissent, and referee Dougie McDonald has had enough. For the second time in his Rangers career, Maciej Buchanan is sent off. 4 minutes to play at Fir Park. Rangers down to 10 men, and Alan McGregor has to face Jim O'Brien. This for the breakthrough in the match. O'Brien steps up, McGregor with a save. It remains level. O'Brien sent it across. It's a good height for a goalkeeper. And Alan McGregor once more saves on the spot.
Rangers dropped their first points of the season when they were fortunate to escape with Cooperative Insurance Cup.
Novo caught late. Play allowed to continue. John Fleck might open up for Fleck. Good save, Mark Brown. Fleck is using his strength to hold off the challenge.
Boyd is onside. He's got away from McCausland. Chris Boyd across underneath. Rangers. Absolutely clinical.
Terrific finish. Just what Rangers were looking for. Great start.
It was exceptionally tight. The flag stayed down of Tommy Johnson, and the pass on Boyd was perfect. The finish was simple, and Ludovic Roy had to put the ball out the net. It's played through onto Nacho Novo for Rangers. Novo wraps it up. 11 minutes to play. A neat ball down the flank. Nacho Novo provided the finishing touch.
Big shouts from Queen of the South for offside. Novo realises the flag doesn't go up. That's a quality finish. Behind the net at the near post. Terrific finish. How many times does Nacho Novo come on and produce exactly this when Rangers need?
Infield onto Harris. Harris wants to make his mark, and he has. It's another wonder goal for the collection of Bob Harris. He doesn't score bad goals. His first goal of the season. Queen of the South 1, Rangers 2.
It's well played by Boyd. Out to Novo now. Novo with a chance to run at the Aberdeen defence. And goes for goal. That's off the woodwork. And away to safety in the end. Well, that's by some distance the closest we've come to a goal this afternoon.
I think the concerning thing at that particular team, I don't think we were creating an awful lot of chances, which was extremely unlike us, because one thing we do create chances, and more than often than not we do take them. I think a little bit concerning point, that particular period was there were 3 goalless draws. And you can always look at the bright side, which I tend to do, and say it's 3 clean sheets. But at the same time, Rangers should and always will score goals. So that was a little bit of a concern.
And Sean Maloney can't believe it. McDonald inside. That looks like a good shout. McGregor away. Now through the middle, missed by Loovens, falls on to Kenny Miller. 2-0 Rangers. It's a mess at the back for Celtic, and Kenny Miller steps in. Loovens misread it, as did Boyd. Miller strong enough to hold him off. And for the second time this afternoon, Kenny Miller beats Arthur Boric. 2-0 Rangers, 60 minutes gone. Celtic only dropped SPL points against Dundee United. 3 out of 3 away from home. Zhang Zi tries to move away from Mendes. Good play. Papac can't get there. He goes down, penalty. Zhang Zi taken down by Sasa Papac. And Celtic have a route back into the match. Aidan McGeady against Alan McGregor. The goalkeeper got a hand to it, but Aidan McGeady drags Celtic back into the match. Rangers just have to see it out now. Kenny Miller, the hero this afternoon. Mendes back onto Kenny Miller. Played through onto Nacho Novo. Great save from Arthur Boric. No goals in his last 4 Old Firm games for Nacho Novo, who was onside, tried to lift it over the goalkeeper. Good touch away from Boric.
Obviously it's the first Old Firm game of the season and everybody's up for it, and even in that spell, I mean, I still look back in the game now and the commentator saying if we had lost that we would go 7 points behind. Obviously it was a big result for us that day to get back to within 1 point of Celtic, and for me to get 2 goals again in the first Old Firm fixture, it's just stuff the dreams are made of. I mean, they're the games you look to, and to get the goals and the winning goals in a game like that is just, I mean, you couldn't ask for any more.
Kenny's a terrific season, and he took his 2 goals well. First one I think he just took the right hand side, wrong-footed Boric, and knocked into the goal. And the second one he out-muscled the 2 defenders and had a great finishing off the post, I think. So no, he's tended to do very well in the bigger games for us, certainly domestically, Kenny, and that was another 2 great goals.
Anderson. St Johnstone trying to build, and Colin Samuel onside here. Doesn't have any support, he might not need any support. Coolly finished off by Colin Samuel. Sasha Papac showing a bit of adventure. Kyle Lafferty. Here's Kevin Thompson. And Boyd doesn't miss from there. Chris Boyd knows where the goal is. And Rangers are level in Perth with 5 minutes to go to half-time.
Well, it's Chris Boyd all over, isn't it? Poaching about that area. St Johnstone don't deal with it after a good run from Papac. They've got plenty of bodies back there. Deflection off Anderson, who tries to clear it, doesn't make a particularly good job of it. And there's your main striker, Boyd, the goal scorer, who does nothing else.
Naismith, and it's Papac trying to place it. Sasha Papac is the unlikely goal-scoring hero for Rangers. The goal in front of the Rangers supporters. In the north end of the ground. Papac scoring for only the 2nd time in the SPL, and what a vital one.
Well, you've got to say it's a cracking goal. There have been 2 periods in this game, St Johnstone, where they've switched off. One was for the Boyd goal, and then here. They've got enough bodies back, but they don't get enough pressure on Sasa Papac here. They get to him too late. I think it's Dave Mackay's blinding Alan Main a little bit. Rangers take the lead.
Sasa Papac was the hero in Perth to give Rangers a late win over St Johnstone ahead of their 3rd Champions League fixture. And
although the ball actually ended up in the back of the net off the foot of Dundee defender Eric Payton. As it was, Dundee raised the roof at Dens Park in the 29th minute. Lee Griffiths putting Rangers on the slide with an absolutely stunning goal. Plenty of hype about Griffiths, and no wonder. Stephen Whittaker with the ball into the box, and Mackenzie's header looping into the net. Rangers 1 victory 5 minutes from time. An important win for Rangers after a difficult few days.
The 1st of November saw a return to Dundee for the Light Blues, looking for another triumph on Tayside. Rangers lost out, as did United, to the weather.
Davis delivers again. Gary Kenneth took it away from David Weir. Papac returns it, and the flag has stayed down, and Davis has scored, and Rangers have the lead. Stephen Davis.
You've got to applaud the composure from Stephen Davis. These are so easily snatched at, and it's just a side foot, guides it to the target, there's a bit of pace in it, and Rangers go a goal in front.
So it was frustration for Rangers as they looked to gain confidence ahead of their trip to Romania and their return with Unarea.
It's in this boy. That's good play, flank to Beasley. There's a chance. O'Donnell has scored for St Mirren. That's a fine pass. Boyd is onside. Deadly as ever. Picked out well by Whittaker. That's set up for Miller. That's great play again. Superb play from Rangers. Chance again for Rangers. The cutback is good. Stephen Whittaker for Rangers.
That victory, coupled with Celtic's defeat by Dundee United, allowed Rangers to take top spot in the SPL.
So you have to get a great level of consistency over the course of the season. It's not just a one-off game. We have to put performance in, week out. You see your weaknesses and your strengths throughout the course of the season. We've managed to dig in a lot of games this year and grind out results, and that's been a big thing for us.
Go two ahead, it's Kuzmanovic.
Grassi. Here's Payton, who scored against Rangers at Ibrox towards the end of last season. Payton in, and Miller celebrates, and Aberdeen have an early lead. Rangers always find the going tough here. It's just got tougher for them.
There had to be a reaction, and that's again going back to the character of the boys. We were down, we were getting it for the press, for everywhere, and it just shows you the character we've got. We didn't hide, we took it in the chin, and we went on to try and prove a point.
November ended poorly for Rangers, but a fine away win at Falkirk at the start of December was a sign of how things were to go in the league for the rest of the year.
Davis. Bugera. We're in the advanced position. It's Boyd! Chris Boyd scores his 150th goal in the SPL. He thrives on that sort of service. It's against the run of play, yes, but it's so typical of Boyd.
And that's quite simply a wonderful goal. Bugera, centre half, up there right wing, and just look at the way Boyd gets that couple of inches. That's all it takes, just to get a toe poke in front of Legsdick, no chance. But a lovely ball in there, begging to be dealt with.
And it's Davis, and it's Miller, and Boyd! There he is again. Chris Boyd for Rangers.
It's almost a carbon copy. This time Davis is the one with the pass to open up Miller. Miller gets it back. Boyd was never going to miss from there. And just when you thought Falkirk looked likely to level it, Rangers put one in at the other end.
Mitchell with it, Pele. Oh, it's been turned in, Coutinho. For Falkirk. They are back in the game.
his thigh.
Flicked on by Miller to Beasley. Penalty. Now the Falkirk players protest.
Oh, this is the impact that Beasley wanted to make. Darren Barr is looking at the ball, couldn't see where Beasley was. Rangers with a chance to put this one to bed.
It's going to be Kenny Miller for Rangers. Thumping it home. And it might well be the decisive goal.
Well, we talked about Falkirk deserving their goal. And this man deserves his. He's worked so hard for the side. Just the usual, really, but loves to find the net. He hit that one straight down the middle. And for once, the Falkirk goalkeeper couldn't get anything on it.
Domestic.
We played well in Stuttgart. Steve Davis hitting the post in the last minute. They might have got us a win there. We're losing a goal in the last minute at Uniria. The home games were disappointing in that we lost the first goal in each of those games, and we had to end up chasing the game, and we've had to do that. Uniria aside, I think you could play the Uniria game again, and you know, we would have high hopes of winning that one. But against Stuttgart and Seville at home, after losing the first goal, you know, we weren't good enough to handle the situation after that, and that was disappointing. As I say, away performance is good, but a home performance is disappointing after losing the first goal.
The disappointment felt at Ibrox was short-lived, as the club mounted a fresh domestic assault with a sensational run of victories in which they scored 23 goals with a loss of only 3.
Here's Majid Bouguera. Marcus Beasley with a head flick inside. Another chance here to set up Boyd. Well, it's the earliest of goals once again for Rangers, and the supplier is Chris Boyd, and get his 11th league goal of the season. And this was a giveaway, complete giveaway there. Conceded so easily by Gartland, and Graham Smith left with no chance in goal. Terrible mistake by Gartland. Beasley was sharp and quick, and that steered beyond Graham Smith. Well, it's very good pressure applied by Nacho Novo. It's a penalty kick. Well, that's the cheapest of penalty kicks conceded. That Graham Smith left badly exposed by a dreadful pass back. The Nacho Novo deserves great credit. He was so energetic here. Anderson's back pass was poor. Looked to be caught all right, Novo. Chris Boyd, a chance to make it 12 for the season. Never in doubt. Rangers take full advantage of a gift. Very good penalty kick. Smith guessing right and getting across well, but that was so accurate and so firmly struck that the keeper had no chance at all. Did well to keep that one going, Watford. And the break of the ball is kind. Here's Beasley. Errors by Gartland and Granger. Great chance here for Miller to make it 3. And for Novo. Well, once again, St Johnstone in benevolent mood in defence. Great pass there by Beasley. Fine goalkeeping by Smith. And Novo first to the loose ball to make it 3-0 to Rangers.
Miller, Beasley up against Dixon, but not for long. That is wonderful! DeMarcus Beasley!
Well, we've been spoiled for quality goals over the last couple of games. Beasley here just cuts in his left foot, could go on his right, but he finds the top corner here with some quality. One-on-one, he elects to come in his left. And that is a fabulous strike from Beasley.
Davis now for Novo. Cheers from the Dundee United fans as he gets a touch. More touches than they'd like. Novo, Kenny Miller surely! 2-0 Rangers! There's a long way back for Dundee United now. Rangers looking to hit the top spot in the SPL.
Well, Miller's taking all the applause, and quite rightly, but look at the contribution here of Nacho Novo, trying to buy a bit of time, twisting, turning, gets the break of the ball, and with his left foot, that's the type of delivery that any striker would feed off. Terrific play from Nacho Novo.
Off the head of Dixon, but it's helped Rangers. Miller for Beasley. Miller. He scores again. Kenny Miller makes sure of 3 points for Rangers that will take them back to the top. Move over Celtic.
That should seal it. Kenny Miller back in amongst the goals. He's involved with a lovely touch there just to set Beasley to the byline. And once it's played into his feet, that's clever footwork. He creates the yard of space. And with his left foot, sometimes he's much better when he's so instinctive, Kenny Miller. Just drives that into the corner. Weaver's got no chance. The excellent play from Beasley and Miller.
This is Beasley. That's a fine pass. Miller has found space to the left. Not sure it was intended for Beasley, but he collects. Now Davis. Good footwork from the Irishman. Now Miller with a shot for goal. It's a fine attempt to seal the goal. Superb finish by Kenny Miller. But what a marvellous finish it was by the Scotland striker. You can see deliberately what he's trying to do here. Angling that toward the top corner. John Ruddy was completely helpless. Beaten by the quality of the finish from Miller. That's brilliant. That's good play by Beasley. Davis feeding that in towards Boyd. Goal number 13 of a prolific season for Chris Boyd. And the pressure goes right off Rangers with that second goal. Such a swift counter-attack and a brilliant pass this is from Davis. And Boyd throwing himself there away from his defensive marker. So very fine, clinical finish again by Boyd. Gets back. Use Bugera, that's for Miller on the run. Can Miller get there? Indeed he has. It's number 3 for Rangers. Well, the benefit again of genuine pace up front. And John Ruddy looks on, maybe reflecting on whether or not he should come all the way a little bit quicker. It's a good ball in, and it's dumped into the net for the head by Hutchinson. Broadfoot gets away from Meakin. This is Miller. Broadfoot again. Number 4 for Rangers, and that settles it. Well, Broadfoot took the throw, continued to be involved in this. Miller's pass through was a good one. Young Saunders played the ball onside, and that allowed Broadfoot to set up Lafferty for the simplest of finishes. Bugera now to Kenny Miller. It's one for Beasley to get in behind Reynolds. Oh, it's great play by Beasley. Superb finishing. Another fine performance. We're on the wrong side there of Reynolds. Steered that beyond Ruddy very effectively indeed with his weaker foot, the right. Screened the ball well from Reynolds, who couldn't make any rash challenges inside the penalty box. That's a very good goal for Rangers. Super play by Beasley. It's one for Lafferty to chase. Ruddy comes all the way, not well enough. Was a bad goal this, without question of Motherwell. Young Saunders unable to influence things going back there with Lafferty. But again, Ruddy came and stopped. Had to keep coming. He had to come all the way and make a challenge with his feet. But stopped there and made it easy in the end for Lafferty.
There is certainly immense potential for this to be a classic contest. And Zimama is in a rush to head towards the Rangers box straight away, and he's in it now. And here's Stokes onside, and he scored! That's incredible! 12 seconds! Hibs have taken the lead. An astonishing start! Liam Miller cut out by Nova. Unlike Miller that. Boyd now for Kenny Miller. It's opened up for him. And he's put it away. A perfect response from Rangers.
Boyd plays it into him first time and he takes it early. And he finds the corner. One touch to control, another to guide it into the net. Brilliant goal from Miller.
Novo's corner, and big hand ball shout against Hogg. It was certainly clumsy. Bugera has won it back, and Boyd! Clinical! Ruthless! That's Chris Boyd for you! And Rangers have turned this game upside down after a nightmare start.
It's just simple. Look at Boyd, he's doing nothing. He's waiting for possession to be won. Witherspoon's lazy getting out, and he's first to react. He's across the front of the defender. The ball in from Bugera is so inviting, and he just sweeps it home.
Lafferty, Boyd, Miller, Nacho Novo arrives on the scene. Ominous this for Hibs, and it's in! Novo claiming it! Rangers extend their lead!
Well, unless this takes a deflection, it's a big mistake from McAlamby. I think he tries to read this. I think he tries to read the cutback. And McAlamby's positioning is absolutely all wrong.
Bugera's onto that. Boyd, and he's onside. Kenny Miller closing in on goal again, and scoring again. Yet another double for Miller.
I think we can see here, he's more than on. He's a good couple of yards on. Strides away, this time on his left side. He gets the power in it. It's low, it's near McAlamby, but he can't keep it out. And Rangers, after Dundee United, Motherwell, they've now looked at Hibs and they've dismantled them as well.
Paul Dixon's header. This is Vince Bourbon. Now Gomez. Careless return pass, exposing the United defence. This is Kenny Miller. Very good tackle initially, but not the second time. It's a penalty to Rangers. Well, Prince Bourbon will be the one who's most upset about this. That was a good tackle. This was the bad one. Boyd against Weaver. Deadly finish. Rangers have the lead. 19.5 minutes gone. It's the first real test Weaver's had to face, and he was sent the wrong way by that excellent penalty from Boyd. Maybe a knock to the side too from Davis to Boyd to get away from the wall. That's the intention. Oh, that's terrific. Absolutely outstanding. No chance for Weaver. Thundered past him by Chris Boyd. He just can't stop scoring. Just no chance at all for Weaver. That's hit with stunning power and accuracy. Novo inside. Here is Papac. Now Miller. The early ball in. It's there this time. Boyd has the hat-trick. But once again, Weaver is helpless. Truly remarkable.
29 minutes on the clock, 3-0 to Rangers, and all three for Chris Boyd. Brilliant pass it was, mind you, from Kenny Miller. Beautifully set up goal, Papach to Miller, that was on a plate, and Boyd eats these for breakfast.
This is Bourbon. Kedem Artery, well aware of the presence of Dixon advancing on the left. Good play. And the flick on was good, it's gone in! United have snatched one back in the opening minute of the second half. Oh, that's good work though by Broadfoot. Looks up in the middle. Miller is short. No way past Dodds. Good piece of defending there by Darren Dodds, and Dodds and Miller clash on the ground there. That was not required. And I think there'll be trouble here for Kenny Miller. Indeed, it is a red card for Kenny Miller. I think technically this will be proved to be correct. There was the wrestling match. I just watched the feet there. Now, this is the point where Miller got into trouble. That was that left boot towards the face of Darren Dodds. Caught him all right. Now Broadfoot. Eagerness and hunger about Dundee United. This is good play from Rangers. Much better play. Dillon showing a lot of that too, but Whittaker! It's a gift for Rangers. Stephen Whittaker has made it 4. There's a bad error by Sean Dillon, no question about that. Couldn't make up his mind where to go with this. Decided to try to take it on the outside, but it had too heavy a touch, and Whittaker was too quick for him. Very good opportunist goal by a man who is by nature a defender, but Whittaker does so well here to squeeze that home at the corner, and surely that takes all the strain off Rangers. That's a good chance. Very good chance. It turned it in the end. Chris Boyd makes it 5. It takes his tally to 4. Chris Boyd's header initially blocked by Dodds, but he recovered so well to drill that home. The striker's instincts all with apparent, and Nicky Weaver for the first time, I think, will concede that he made an error, missing the cross ball initially. Should have got a left hand to that, and from that point on, it was all about Chris Boyd. Lafferty yet another one. He's away this time from Dixon. Oh, that's quite superb as Chris Boyd getting his 5th for the second time in his SPL career. 5 goals for Chris Boyd. Good play this by Kyle Lafferty on the right, getting away from Dixon. And then when he pulled this back, it was Boyd thumping that into the top corner. And again, Weaver left completely helpless. Strong play there from McCulloch, now from Bugera. Off he goes again on one of those charging runs. Wants to go all the way himself, clearly. Oh, this will be classic. Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely sensational. Majid Bugera with goal number 7. Well, it came such a long way, showed excellent footwork, lots of pace and sharpness, and then a clinical finish. Second goal of the season. He's got a fine goal against Stuttgart early in the Champions League campaign, and now it's his second, but that was a classic.
The festive period is always one that can make or break you because of the amount of games you've gotten. It's important that you keep winning over that period, and I think, well, when you look back, we've done it, and we've done it probably playing our best football this season, creating chances and scoring goals. And I said it wasn't just winning games 1 and 2-0. It was like 4, 5, and 6, and even the Dundee United games. I said it was really joyful to play for.
We showed a terrific level of form, and everybody in the team was playing well. Attacking wise, we were scoring so freely, and it was just there's no doubt it was the best spell of the season for us. And as players, they're the kind of spells you enjoy the whole season when you're being successful, but when you're playing like that, and as a forward you're creating so many chances and getting as many goals that both myself and Boyd were getting at the time, it was a great time to be playing in the team.
With Rangers firing on all cylinders, there was one man at the top of the goal-scoring chart, and the United game cemented his place as one of Scotland's most prolific strikers. With his 4th goal of that game, Chris Boyd became the SPL's all-time leading goalscorer.
When you look back at it now, before the game, you can, as I said, Durante spoke to me and says, "Oh, you'll get your goals tonight." But as I said, you never ever think you're going to do it. But it was pretty early in the game, and as I said, I had a hat trick, and you actually might. Then you're starting to think to yourself, "No, it could be tonight." And as I said, it was at that time it was more important. The team got the 3 points. As I said, it was. I mean, I was closing in on Larsson's record, but as I said, the most important thing was to get the 3 points for the team.
His finish that night was sensational. A couple of goals. One, his finish for me with his right foot that day. I think it was his 4th, it might have been his 5th. It was a brilliant finish where he knocked it by. I think it was Nicky Weaver's left-hand side at the top corner. That was a great finish. That was a finish of a striker playing at the top of his form and full of confidence.
It's good that you've got the individual on all that, but the most important thing is the team, and that comes first. And as I said, I was only one of 11 players out there that night. I'd done a terrific job in the park.
The year drew to a close on a high. Rangers sat top of the SPL with a comfortable gap from stumbling Celtic. Thanks to December's Goalfest, the Light Blues had an impressive plus 34 goal difference to Celtic's 18. It was a great way to end the year, and there was only one game to kick off 2010, the Old Firm derby.
What you want, what you want.
It's Derby Day in Glasgow, and that means it's a pivotal day in the race for the SPL title. It's a rivalry that is famous and infamous. New Year, Old Firm. Will this be a key moment for Celtic? Robson takes it. McGeady, he didn't really connect, but McGregor was put under pressure and fouled, was he? As the referee called it back. It is a free kick.
What is he given? I'll tell you what, the ball's in the air a long time. Aidan McGeady doesn't catch it properly. Well, I think Alan McGregor's very lucky there. Don't see a great deal in that at all, and that is a major break for Rangers. It's a total misjudgment from the Rangers keeper, who could have come and punched that.
And Nguemo feeding Hinkle, promising this. Robson! It bounces off the bar from Barry Robson. Papac taking on Robson. And Boruc finding that rather awkward. It's a corner.
Just lost his bearings there, Artur Boruc. Ends up outside his near post. Certainly intended as a cross here from Papac. Doesn't get his foot around it.
Nagidi skipped away from Whittaker. Nagidi, McDonald! Scott McDonald comes off the bench to seize the moment, and it's a magic moment for Celtic. They have the lead in the New Year derby. Lafferty. Who can rescue Rangers? If anyone can. Lafferty's hung in there. It's a corner.
He did well to get it there. Kyle Lafferty nowhere to go there in the byline.
Who will step forward for Rangers? The corner from Davis. And the goal from Lee McCulloch! How about that? For a swift response. Rangers are level straight away.
Difficult to see who he got across the front of, but it's a terrific front post run by Lee McCulloch. Well, he's one of the few who's not in the mix here. He gets half a yard across the front of Gary Caldwell, who's watching the ball, and McCulloch makes it his. It's a terrific header. Celtic no defender on the near post, and that is a terrific header from Lee McCulloch.
Nagidi. Hinkle. Samaras. Oh, an amazing save from Alan McGregor. It looks so goal-bound from Georgios Samaras.
Well, world class, you would think. Absolutely top draw from Alan McGregor. Well, I mean, it's arrowing for the top corner, and he did brilliantly to get his left glove up.
It's all over, and it's all square.
It was fantastic. I think it was our first attack up the pitch and get the goal, so it was really, really good in at the Rangers end as well. I scored last year, the year before, an Old Firm game at home, and the linesman gave it offside, and it was never offside. So I was really gutted about that, but to get an Old Firm goal at Parkhead was, in the Rangers end, was fantastic.
Samaras. Oh, an amazing save from Alan McGregor.
It's just instinctive, to be fair. It's like one of the ones you train every day, and ever since I was a young boy, you just get told to go, even if you don't think you're getting it, just go. You never know what might happen. So it was just one of them ones, just fling yourself and managed to get a hand to it.
Up next was the Active Nations Scottish Cup, and Rangers had to come back from 3-2 down to earn a replay with Hamilton. Back at Ibrox, Rangers' progression was sealed thanks to a 2-0 victory. Coincidentally, sandwiched between the fourth round cup clashes against Hamilton was the scheduled SPL fixture with Billy Reid's side. There was no repeat of that high-scoring action from the previous week, just a late winner from Nacho Novo.
Papac. That's a bit better from Rangers. Papac striding forward with authority and giving it to young John Fleck. And Tierney. Novo for Rangers. The breakthrough at last. Nacho Novo. It has taken them 77 minutes, but now the league leaders are on course for maximum points.
Ian Watersmith didn't have much to play with on the bench, but he did have Fleck. He took him on, and he's opened up for him. Nacho Novo, always killer instinct with him. He gets on the end of this. Tierney makes the save, but Novo, first touch is a good one, and then he slides it in. And how important is this goal going to be for Rangers? It's not been the best performance, and it just crept in there, glancing the inside post, and Watersmith absolutely delighted.
Careless one by McCulloch. This is Labour. Now a chance for Wallace.
Fine save. And the rebound is turned in. Hearts have the lead as Scott Robinson. His first goal for Hearts. And suddenly Rangers have a major issue.
This is Wilson. Little's header. Turned away by Bouzid. Here's Wild. Wall, there's McCulloch. Andrew Little. Rangers have done it. They've come back. And a first goal in the first team for Andrew Little. Well, Wild did well. It was set up for McCulloch. Good block by Keller. The first to the ball was Little. And Rangers are back on level terms. Good sharp finishing by Little.
Possibly an indication, Ian, of the physical challenge for Weir and Wilson tonight. Higden and Billy Mehmet up front for St Mirren.
Lafferty, and the flag stays down. Stephen Davis has put Rangers in front in the second minute. And yet again, they score very early against St Mirren. It's a familiar story.
Well, I do think he was onside. You see here from Lafferty. I think it's the right back that plays him on. Jack Ross plays him on. The central defenders have stepped out. And it's Davis's run from a deep position that keeps him onside. He may well have tried to curl that past the goalkeeper into the opposite corner, but it finds that gap between his legs.
Thompson won it back. Davis. Now Nacho Novo. He's closing in. And he's found a way past Gallagher. And Rangers have eked out another result here. A goal at the start and a goal at the end. This one from Nacho Novo.
Well, you've got to credit Novo, it's a finish, but John Potter, I think, gives him the opportunity to shoot here. He's quite happy to leave the angle. You see Nacho Novo, Potter doesn't get close, he does now, and then the end it's a bit late. Goes in off the post, might take a slight deflection here, it does. And that gamble doesn't pay off for Potter. Two hands for Gallagher, can't keep it out. It sneaks into the net, but it's enough surely to give Rangers all 3 points.
The wall being organised very carefully by the Austrian goalkeeper, Olejnik. Could be an attempt from Davis, this, I reckon. Indeed it is. Oh, it's brilliant! Couldn't be better. Well, it took Steve Davis until this midweek to open his account for the season. Now he has 2 in 2 games, and that was a classic. Well, deserves all these congratulations for that wonderful free kick. Olejnik at full stretch trying to get across to that, but it was beautifully flighted. The keeper really had no chance. Jumping wall unable to get there. That's how well Davis took that. He got the ball up and down with swerve and enough pace to beat Olejnik. Well taken down by Thompson. Davis to Whittaker. It's aimed for Lafferty. Releases Davis now. This is very promising for Rangers. Davis going all the way himself, setting up a gift for Fleck. Excellent play for Rangers. John Fleck gets his second goal of the season, and Rangers surely now have a level of comfort which should see them home. It was a very well worked goal this by Rangers, but this was the delivery which made life so easy for Fleck. Olejnik did all he could getting back, but had no real chance of keeping that out, and Rangers go 2 ahead. So Naismith is going to come on, in fact. It's a question of who's coming off. Can't imagine it'll be anyone other than Novo. There's the thought from Whittaker. Back on the goal standard again. Remarkable run of goals from Whittaker this season. That's number 9, 5th in the league. And taken with supreme confidence here. Wonderful turn. Space opened up. And this time Olejnik beaten by the pace on the ball. That's great play by Whittaker. Real awareness. Made an angle for himself, get away from Bar, made a yard. That's all it took to give him that clear shooting chance and leave Olejnik helpless.
Steve Davis was a relieved man when he finally scored his first goal of the season at Paisley, as he felt he should have been contributing more. But it was apparent to everyone just how important he was to the team.
Stephen's just a great footballer, you know, and the one thing you love about Stephen is you get him the same day in training, same every match day, everything's the same. He's got a great work ethic, he's a competitor, he wants to win, and more times than not he does win. But he's just a great boy, and he's a pleasure to work with, and he deserves everything that he's earned this season, and he has earned it. All the plaudits, because he's a very, very vital part of our team.
More of a relief than anything really. I didn't really know what way to celebrate, to be honest, but I say it was a long time coming and just nice to get one. There was a time when we needed players to chip in with a few goals, and it was a team effort in that respect, and as I say, it was nice for me to get one and then go on a little run.
January came and went with no new faces arriving in the transfer window. However, Pedro Mendes departed for sunnier climes, returning to his homeland to play for Sporting Lisbon, and Jerome Roten's loan spell with the club ended. As February began, wintry conditions swept Scotland, putting many fixtures in doubt. There was a slight risk of a whiteout for the Cooperative Insurance Cup semi-final at Hampden between Rangers and St Johnstone, but the team in white battled the conditions to progress to the first final of the season.
We've managed to do really well in domestic trophies and get to every final up until that point, really. So it was another big game for us. We went out and got the win, and obviously for me to get the one to put us in front, and then it was a crucial goal, really.
So, with one Hampden Cup final booked, it was time to continue the drive for the other one, and Rangers faced off with St Mirren in the 5th round of the Active Nations Scottish Cup. As with the previous round, Rangers struggled and a replay was required. But before that was to take place, there were 2 key SPL games against in-form sides to take care of.
And it's Tom Haitley. What a goal by Haitley for Motherwell. Memo Haitley, Boyd, Miller. And Papac. It's a second crack at it. Sasha Papac, and Boyd steals in to do what he does best.
Well, Papac gets a second bite to the cherry here. But you just watch Reynolds in number 4. As a defender, you cannot leave this ball. And he's got to expect with somebody like Boyd behind him around about the area that he'll be sniffing around like the true predator he is in the SPL. And he missed the earlier chance. He isn't going to be asked twice.
Lafferty, he's made a good start to the second half, having just come on. Lafferty again, Whittaker! Stephen Whittaker against his former club, and he's into double figures now this season. And Rangers have a vital lead early in the second half.
Look at his involvement here. Once again, the right back surging forward. A little trick at the edge. He gives it and then he receives it. Beautiful left foot strike. right into the corner. And there's the attacking option that Rangers have been looking for all afternoon. Lovely layoff from Kyle Lafferty. Well cushioned right into his path. And with his left foot, it is a sweet finish. He loves it.
Stephen Davis. Davis through to Miller. Penalty. Tripped by Bamba. And Rangers could double their lead.
Well, it's Davis that creates it. And yeah, it's a heavy touch from Miller, and he wouldn't have got onto it. It doesn't matter, he's still fouled. He's still brought down here.
Chris Boyd doing what he does best. Smith went the right way, but the power and the glory belongs to Boyd. And Rangers are surely heading 10, a perfect 10 points clear at the top.
Exactly the cushion they're looking for with 20 minutes to go. Boyd's got the power here, but he's got the accuracy as well. Smith goes slightly early, he goes the right way, but the power takes it away from him and gives Rangers that vital 2-goal cushion.
And Thompson will latch onto this now. And Kenny Miller rounds it off. Miller scores against his old club. He's heading Riley McCoyston go down there. An emphatic victory in the end for Rangers, and you have to say this is the stuff that champions are made of.
Well, Hibs just caught in possession there, and Thompson does the right thing, bides his time and puts it into the path of Miller. I think it's Hanlon, suffered a serious injury there, but Thompson, he bides his time. Miller makes the move, and it's a one-touch finish. That just puts the icing on the cake for this Rangers victory.
It was a good goal for me, obviously against my former side, but we were playing some good stuff, and we felt like the goal wasn't going to come, and it felt as though it was going to take a good goal to kind of break the deadlock, and I managed to play a nice little ball around the corner to Kyle, who laid it straight back into my path, and again with the left foot just managed to strike through the ball, and it found the side net, and so it was a good goal for me, and one of my favourites of the season.
Chris Boyd's late strike saw off St Mirren in the Ibrox replay, putting Rangers 6th round of the Scottish Cup. On the 21st of February, Rangers held their 2010 Hall of Fame awards ceremony, and it was another opportunity for Rangers and their fans to pay tribute to some of the greats that have pulled on a light blue jersey.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A pleasure, as always, to be here at the Hilton tonight. Once again, we are paying tribute to some of the greatest players in Rangers history. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 players you voted into the Hall of Fame 12 months ago, as I'm sure you know, are Sam English, whose total of 44 league goals in season 31-32 is a Rangers record that still stands to this day. Harold Davis, that hard-tackling right half in the great Rangers side of the early 60s, who made 261 appearances for the club. And Stefan Klos, der goalie, one of the club's greatest ever goalkeepers, with almost 300 appearances in a 9-year Rangers career. Ladies and gentlemen, to accept Sam English's award, would you welcome his grandson Douglas Cree and his granddaughter Elaine Gailey, together with Harold Davis and Stefan Klos.
How proud are you to get this award tonight? My heart's nearly bursting.
Well, that's a great honour for me, and I'm really thankful that I was voted into the Hall of Fame. I mean, throughout the years I got really great support from the Rangers fans, and I'm really thankful, for this big honour.
The overall winner for the first award of 2010 is George Brown.
We're delighted to have with us to accept the award on his behalf his nephew, Ross Brown.
Nominations for the 60s, 70s and 80s are Ali Dawson, Ian McMillan, David McPherson, Derek Palin and Ian Redford. And there's two winners from this category. They are Ian McMillan and Derek Palin.
The 5 nominations for the 90s, or the 90s era, are Lorenzo Amoruso. Nice to see Lorenzo back up again. Yeah. Arthur Newman. David Robertson. Gary Stevens. And Trevor Stephen. Practically impossible to choose, but the inductee tonight is Lorenzo Amoruso.
Well, it's a fantastic emotion. First of all, because 12 years ago, 13 years ago, when I signed for Rangers, I never thought I could have had this kind of fantastic award. And second, because, you know, as an Italian coming in this country and spending all of time and receiving so much attention, so much love from the fans, from the club, from the teammates, and from the old manager, has been fantastic. So for me, honestly, it's a fantastic honour.
Our congratulations, of course, go to the 10 very special individuals that you have honoured tonight, each of whom now takes his place among the greatest Rangers of all. Thanks for being with us tonight to share it with them, and until the next time from us all, good night. Thank you.
The following week brought sad news for the club as Rangers lost another of their proud family. Goalkeeper Jerry Neef passed away after battling illness at the age of 63. Signed by manager Davy White, Neef joined Rangers in 1968 from Dusseldorf Amateurs and spent 5 years at Ibrox. Old Firm fever hit Glasgow once more. This time the venue was Ibrox Stadium. In respect for Jerry Neef, the frenetic atmosphere inside the ground was briefly hushed before the battle commenced.
Nguemo, Keane, another terrific tackle from Thompson. It's the usual frantic start to an Old Firm game. Stephen Davis, Chris Boyd, awkward angle, side netting.
Well, just took it too wide there. I've got to say Arthur Boris did really well, because he's right out in Chris Boyd's face. Terrific movement from the striker to lose Josh Thompson. But Boris was right out to make it difficult for the Rangers striker. That's why he took it wide, and the angle was narrowing all the time on him.
Boris Edu comes on. It's only his 6th appearance this season. He damaged knee ligaments on the day the Rangers won the title last season. It's his 3rd taste of the Old Firm experience. Handy free kick for Rangers. Guerra and Weir looking to get towards this. Miller. Edu! He's only just come on, but it's not going to be given. Referee has ruled it out.
What's he given? It's a handball? Quite sure. Yeah, handball against Kenny Miller. Good spot from Dougie McDonald.
Keane. Fortuné. Spinning away from Whittaker. Marc-Antoine Fortuné, across came Bergera. Keane! Fantastic save from McGregor.
What a save. What a save from Alan McGregor.
Andre Nguemo. Hinkle. Brown. It's a red. Scott Brown, the Celtic captain, is off.
Well, you know, Scott Brown promised everybody that with the responsibility of the captaincy, we'd see a newfound maturity about him. He's saying what for there. But Dougie McDonald's obviously satisfied that he saw enough. Now it's the afters here. Lafferty's certainly at it as well. Well, I've got to say, I don't think you can pick a guilty party there. I think they're both at it. That's handbags. I think Lafferty goes to ground without any real encouragement. And I really don't know why Dougie McDonald distinguishes between the behaviour of either player. Either way, Scott Brown gets needlessly involved, as does Kyle Lafferty, let's make that clear.
Rangers wearing Celtic down. Nacho Novo feeding Sasa Papac. Edu!
Terrific chance. Even on the half volley, it's a terrific chance. He gets the run here on Braithwaite. And even though the ball is on the way up as he strikes this, if he gets over that and hits anything on the target, there's every chance that he puts Rangers ahead there.
It's away by Thompson. And then by Weir. Nguemo though. Papac releasing Novo. 3 minutes of added on time is confirmed.
There will be a minimum of 3 additional minutes. 3 minutes to go.
Celtic have a throw. Celtic need to win. If Aldersmith's side collect a point here, they will keep their 7-point lead, and they have a game in hand at St Johnstone after that was postponed last week. Now Boyd. Novo takes over. Still going, but it's cleared by Key. Might still come to Boyd. Papac! And Boris has to make an excellent save.
Well, I just wonder if it's on target. Either way, fabulous reactions from Boris. And again, it's the worst height for a goalkeeper. Is it on target? Probably not. He's not to know that, though. Did really well to get his hand down.
Into the last minute of stoppage time. Kevin Thompson's corner. It's Bugera! Borat stops it. Boyd! And Edu has put it in! Boris Edu! Right at the end! And Rangers take a giant leap towards back-to-back titles! The definitive better late than never goal from Boris Edu!
Yeah, I think we've just seen the goal that's won a championship here. All comes Bugera, back post. Lovely touch in his chest. Boris does reasonably well. Boyd should have scored, and Edu certainly wasn't going to miss from 2 yards. Boris saw it late. He couldn't take it into his body. And Maurice Edu gets an absolute gift, and one that should be enough to get Rangers over the championship finishing line.
You can see what it means to Rangers Football Club. They are heading 10 points clear of their Glasgow rivals. Maurice Edu had the ball in the net when he came on in the first half. It didn't count then, but it sure counted right at the end. And Rangers do have a 10-point lead over their fierce rivals. Celtic down to 10 men with their captain Scott Brown sent off. It was a slog this. A right old slog between these two huge clubs in this most monumental of matches. Rangers left it late, very, very late, but after a scramble in the dying seconds, Maurice Edu pounced.
Just an unbelievable feeling, you know, seeing the fans' reaction and looking back on it, watching the video, seeing the coaches and the whole sidelines reaction and everything, and just seeing how much it meant to everybody. And definitely a great feeling and something I'll remember for the rest of my career. We knew we wanted to come out with 3 points, and we knew it would be a crucial 3 points. So when the game finished and we had the 3 points, we were all very pleased, and that was the goal we set out for at the beginning of the game, and to come out with that result. We knew it was a big step forward, and at that point we knew it was really in our hands, and it was up to us to lose it.
I didn't think the goal was going to get in, then I just saw it break demolished, and all hell broke loose really after that, you know, and for the next 15-20 minutes it was quite remarkable. But no, that was a big 3 points that day, because, you know, Celtic were chasing us, and, you know, obviously still hadn't given up hopes of winning the title, and it certainly put a large nail in Celtic's coffin that day.
That was fantastic. I got injured that game, went over my ankle when I was in the dressing room, and Big Davy Laverty, the masseuse, was in with me, just checking I was all right and stuff like that, bringing me a drink and stuff like that. And you should have seen he nearly exploded as well. And it showed you the gaffer on the telly, and we had a good laugh at that. That's brilliant, no, that's what you want to see. It just shows you at his age and stuff, the passion he's got is fantastic.
What a way to finish off the month. Rangers sat a whopping 10 points clear of the troubled Celts with a game in hand and a vastly better off goal difference.
After the start of the second half, we imposed ourselves on the game and were by far a better side, you know, for a majority of the second half. And I thought, you know, from our own point of view, that, you know, we had lost an opportunity after, you know, dominating most of the second half. So I think it was as much a relief as anything else when Morris scored that goal. But certainly, you know, even from my own point of view, the celebrations were maybe just a little bit over the top, considering it had a fair amount of the season to go. But it was just, I think, the fact that, you know, it didn't look as though we were going to get there, and we did, and we were delighted with that one.
St Mirren were the visitors to Ibrox for the first league fixture in March, and this was quickly followed by an awkward trip down to Rugby Park 3 days later.
That's a brilliant finish by Carey, and St Mirren in the lead. That's it this time. Lee McCullough with a very quick response. Boyd's header down was a good one. This is Miller down to McCullough again. What a start in the second half. That's a great attempt there by Novo. Goal number 3 for Rangers.
In goes Stephen Whittaker with a chance! Whittaker scores for Rangers! Davis. Stephen Davis looking for a glimmer of a chance! Bumped home by Kenny Miller.
Next came another Scottish Cup game, and perhaps inevitably, another replay was required. This time Dundee United were the opponents, who clawed back a 3-1 deficit to tie the match and force a decider back at Tannadice. Sunday, the 21st of March 2010, is a date Rangers fans are unlikely to forget in a hurry. The venue was Hampden, where Rangers were to meet St Mirren for the 5th time in the space of 2 months in the Cooperative Insurance Cup final. It was one of the most unforgettable afternoons in the history of the National Stadium.
Stephen Whittaker. Here's Kenny Miller. And suddenly it opens up for Kenny Miller! There's no end product. And he should really be hitting the target from there. Been quiet so far. Came alive here. Disappointing. So Mirren will be rather concerned that he was allowed room to roam. Here's Billy Memmott. Carey. Brady. Higdon. Higdon. He's found a way through. And it's somehow kept out by Neil Alexander. Stephen Thompson almost opening the scoring. Carey's corner. Lee Mayer goes for it. Here's David Barron. Long way out. Tremendous try from Barron though, and he almost made a name for himself. Here's Kenny Miller. Kevin Thompson was taken out in a collision there, and Kenny Miller has lost his way. Miller and Lee Mayer getting involved, rather needlessly. Oh, that's a late one from Kevin Thompson. Jack Ross is not happy with it. That's a poor one from Thompson. St Mirren rattled by the challenge. It's a red card. Kevin Thompson is sensationally sent off early in the second half, and Rangers are down to 10 men. Did Kevin Thompson overstep the mark here? Stephen Thompson caught late by Kevin Thompson, and you can see why another Thompson, Craig, brought the red card out. Big decision for the referee, and Walter Smith's Rangers up against it now with 10 men. Weir and McCulloch and Boyd all in there. Brady and Thompson in a two-man war. Nacho Novo. Handball shout. Kenny Miller trying to turn it in, and incredibly it was blocked away, somehow snuffed out for a corner. Was there a handball in there? Certainly not intentional if it happened. Oh, and Danny Wilson tangling. It's a free kick right on the edge of the area now. What's the card going to be? Danny Wilson is off. Rangers are down to 9 men. This is extraordinary. With 20 minutes to go. Kevin Thompson already sent off. Danny Wilson follows now, and St Mirren won't have a better chance, will they, to win the League Cup. Hampden is stunned. There was contact clearly though from Danny Wilson, and Rangers find themselves down to 9 men. Gus McPherson willing St Mirren to score. Little dummy from Dargo didn't come off. Naismith suddenly. Miller and Novo up with him. Miller! It's in! This is just remarkable! Kenny Miller scores at Hampden! And the 9 men of Rangers have the lead in the 2010 League Cup final. This is a team renowned for digging deep and for showing remarkable resilience. Well, this could be their biggest achievement yet, because with 9 men, they've taken the lead. Naismith's cross and a classic header from Kenny Miller. Against the odds today, with Kevin Thompson sent off, with Danny Wilson sent off, Kenny Miller has only gone and scored. It's away by Weir, who's been terrific for them again. Carey, in it goes into the mix. Thompson, away by McCulloch, it's all over. A quite extraordinary achievement this, absolutely amazing, utterly incredible. Kenny Miller has won the League Cup for Rangers, even though they finished with 9 men, and the 3 wise men at the helm celebrate an extraordinary triumph.
You go into every game as a Rangers player expecting to win and believing you can win, but the way the game unfolded is we're probably second best for large spells of that game. Then when things start to unfold in the second half, with Kevin getting sent off and then Danny getting sent off, you just start to think, well, it's maybe not going to be one of these days, but you just, again, we've talked about it before, the resilience and the spirit and the belief in the team, that even down to 9 men and probably our second best within the game, even with 11 men, it was always going to be tough, but we had made that one last breakaway, and
up the park, and you seen like the energy in the team as well, and myself and Nacho and Nazy breaking forward, hoping to get the goal. And Nazy put a inch perfect crossing, and I was fortunate enough to get on the end of it and put a header into the corner.
It was my first big cup final, and I was devastated to get sent off. And but a lot of people have said to me I got away with it, and that's what happened. I did get away with it, and we won the cup. So at the end of the day, that's all that really matters to this club, winning. You know, I felt when I'd been sent off, I'd let the team down, and you know, because we'd already had a man sent off, and it was just I felt I'd let them down, made it even more difficult for them. But the character they showed to win a game with 9 men was just unbelievable. I remember sitting in the change room with Kevin Thompson, and we were both jumping about when they scored, and we just couldn't believe it. But yeah, that's we've had that all throughout the season, but that was just, I think that just showed to everybody what we were capable of.
I couldn't tell you too many times before that where I'd heard my name getting kind of sung on the terraces, and it was something that sent goosebumps down the spine, on the back of the neck as well. And it was it was a special day, and hopefully that might have been a time where things have kind of maybe changed a little bit. And I mean, to be fair, the fans have always been great to me, but there's never maybe been that acceptance possibly where maybe that's the day it happened and things changed over.
The Rangers fans are ready to roar at Hampden. This is the first part of a possible treble. This is the Scottish League Cup, and it belongs to Rangers. Even with 9 men, they managed to pull it off today. They managed to win this cup against all odds. Cooperative Insurance Cup winners, League Cup winners 2010, Rangers.
That elation was soon deflated as Rangers' treble dreams were shattered by Dundee United in their Scottish Cup replay. In a bid to rest his tiring players, Walter Smith controversially started the game with his top strikers on the bench.
Well, we were up 3-1 against Dundee United at home with half an hour to go. Credit to United, they fought back extremely well, but from our own point of view, we're disappointed that after getting into a lead like that against such a good side as United, that we gave up a couple of goals. And it was a big disappointment to us, that, because I knew on the replay that we were going to have to rest some of our players and get there. As it was, we only had to rest a couple because we had suspension and injury starting to take its toll, and you know, we had to leave out Kenny Miller and Chris Boyd on that one. I felt we needed them for the freshness for the weekend. Unfortunately, that turned out to be the right thing. But on the evening, after surviving a fair bit of United pressure in the first half, we had our best spell of the game when we actually lost the goal late in the match. And that was a disappointing factor for us to go out on a night there.
The cup may have been lost, but that decision was justified by the performance 3 days later.
From Kevin Thompson, and the header down by Wilson. What a start for Rangers! And Danny Wilson scores his first goal for the club. Walter Smith applauds. Hearts 0, Rangers 1.
Well, it's a good ball, good free kick. It's not the greatest delivery you've ever seen. It's in a good area, but I think Wilson's got to do a hell of a lot here, because it's not the paciest the ball's in. You can see it's quite floated. I think it's Palazuelos that's marking him. Just towers above him, the young lad. Brilliant header, I mean, it really is. Gets off the back of Palazuelos, poor defending. McDonald stranded. Best possible start for Rangers.
Quarter of an hour gone. On by Glenn, Papac, and Suso! The perfect response from Hearts. Courtesy of Suso Santana. Whittaker. He's demonstrated this season, Stephen Whittaker, that he can finish with the best of them. 11 goals, all told. And Boyd's header here, and Naismith for Rangers. Thumps it against the bar, but in it goes from Kenny Miller. Hearts were caught napping.
to the full. Miller restores the lead.
Well, it's an absolute gift. I think it's Zalewskis that gives the ball away, and absolutely needlessly here. You don't start, look at the bobbly pitch, and I tell you, Chris Boyd does brilliantly here. What a terrific header that is. And I suppose, having talked about Stephen Naismith, then there are times in the game then you do come in off your line, you pick and choose them, and I suppose that's one of them. But that's awful defending. I mean, it really is, and he'll get the wrath of Jim Jeffries when he gets in. Really, really unlucky here. Keeper beaten, and Miller does well because he adjusts his body. Is an empty net, but he's just got to keep that header down.
Chase on this near side for Davis, dragging Wallace with him. And Kingston, and forward by Weir. There is Whittaker, and Palazuelos struggling to stay with him. It's Naismith! Yes! 3-1! Walter Smith laps up the moment. Stephen Naismith finally on target again, and Rangers are taking another giant step towards winning the title.
Well, they actually did well for a period, Hearts closing the ball down, but you see he just runs off Sousa Santana there, and young Thompson gets sucked away in too far. Whittaker does brilliantly. Good technical player, Stephen Whittaker, can see a pass. Not the tidiest of finishes, he scuffs it into the ground, and that takes it over McDonald, who's had a fine game, but he'll take it at Naismith and see what happens when you just hold your ground, Derek. You get your just rewards.
Wilson, one of the targets again here for Rangers. Oh, it's a free header for Naismith. He wasn't going to miss from there. Stephen Davis picking out Stephen Naismith. And Naismith with his second of the match. It's the fourth for Rangers. And surely now, victory is assured.
Well, if you don't pick up at any level, then you don't stand a hope in hell. And he's clearly onside by a good couple of yards, and all he does, he just drifts off his marker. Look at the gap in there. And then the big problem for him is he's just directing it on goal, which he does very, very well. And the keeper, who has no protection whatsoever.
It was a pivotal week in the championship race. Rangers rose to one of their best performances of the season against Hearts, while Celtic's title challenge had imploded days earlier with a 4-0 defeat at St Mirren. That result saw Tony Mowbray's time at Parkhead come to an end and severely damaged their chances of posing any real threat to Rangers at this stage. The trophy was in sight, and the plan was a simple one. If Rangers won their next 3 games, the SPL title could be sewn up before the split. But that was thrown out the window when St Johnstone inflicted a crushing reminder that nothing can be taken for granted.
Stephen Davis with Stephen Whittaker appearing alongside him. A candidate for Player of the Year must be Stephen Davis, you would imagine. A class act. Granger. Long for Sheridan, dropping over his head. And a good effort on the opening goal from Killian Sheridan. Inside 7 minutes, Sheridan fires St Johnstone in front. And it's good movement up ahead from Chris Miller here. Shooting chance for Miller, deflected and in. What a start for St Johnstone, 2 up in 12 minutes. Alan McGregor can hardly believe this. McCulloch squares it to Papac. Dave Mackay in the way. Jody Morris can't keep it. Papac queuing up inside the box. Papac again, and Stephen Davis has a shot blocked by Dewberry. St Johnstone hemmed in here, and Davis still has it. Rolled in for Papac. It's 2-1. Graham Smith beaten at his near post. Stephen Davis, the architect here, rolled it through for Papac to whip a shot past Smith. And I'm sure the goalkeeper will feel he should have done a whole lot better than that. Miller back in for Craig. Another deflection, another goal. 3-1 St Johnstone, and that's Liam Craig's 10th goal of the season. Can Danny Granger get the delivery right here into a good area? There's Duberry, and a chance for Murray Davidson, who is onside and makes it 4-1.
The first 3 goals were bizarre in the respect that the lad Sheridan hit a wonder goal and the next 2 were deflections, right? But, and it's a big but, they were deserved. It's because St Johnstone were by far and away the better team and we were poor, but that first half was as poor, in my opinion, as we played all season.
The performance wasn't up to scratch. I think the boys started to look a little bit jaded in that, and there's no real excuse for that because with the remaining games to go and much there is to play for in these games, then we should have been a lot better than what we were.
Rangers had to get back to winning ways. Cue Maurice Edu to break the deadlock against Hamilton.
Target is Lee McCulloch, is well marked by MacArthur. Edu with the shot! Terrific attempt by the young American. Came off the upright. Cherny at full stretch there, couldn't get to that. Well, the man who scored that crucial goal against Celtic, coming so close again. I wonder if Cherny did get a touch onto the post there. May well have been a splendid save. 8 shutouts in 34 matches he's had for Hamilton. This is Naismith, and now Miller. Edu again! 1-0 to Rangers. Superb attacking play by Maurice Edu. Certainly justifying his inclusion in the side from the start. And that relieves a lot of tension about the stadium. Well, so close a moment ago, and then this time Hamilton defence completely exposed, and that's a very good composed finish by Edu. Excellent ball played across there to him by Miller, and the Hamilton defence was undone completely. Cherny left absolutely helpless.
Aberdeen were next in Rangers' firing line, a 3-1 win and a step closer to the championship.
It was beautifully flighted. The keeper really had no chance. Best move of the match from Aberdeen, you would say, so far, but the cross finding only Lee McCulloch. And now Rangers can break. Lafferty on the right, Miller through the middle, Davis supporting, Whittaker also coming from behind. This is Lafferty going all the way himself. Superb goal from Kyle Lafferty. Very good break this was. A lot of movement around him. That made it easier for Lafferty to come forward. But that's a splendid finish, giving Langfield no chance at all. Good judgment shown by Payton. That's from McLean. A chance for Aberdeen. Must be turned in. They scored. Darren Mackie for Aberdeen. Header there for Wilson. Turned in. Kenny Miller makes it 3-1. It was a very intelligent header by Danny Wilson back into the danger area. He didn't go for goal, and Kenny Miller took full advantage. His 19th goal of the season. Good play by Wilson, and a very sharp finish by Miller. It's a very good header that by Wilson.
We hadn't been playing well for about 5, 6, 7 games. It was a case of more grinding results out than actually going out and blowing teams away that we were doing in that month of December. But I mean, that's a sign of a good team, a sign of champions when you're not playing as well as what you can. And you know you're not playing well, but you still dig in and you get the result.
Some of the games have been a strange situation because you can feel the nerves for the crowd, you know, and it's sometimes that it transmits itself onto the park and vice versa. And I felt a couple of the home games we did look a little bit nervy, and the crowd were certainly nervy. But you have to look at our home form and say, you know, it's been pretty formidable again this year, and that's indeed the fans' credit and of course the players' credit.
And so to Tannadice, the venue of so many celebrations for Rangers. Walter Smith knew that winning this tie would enable his side to clinch the league at home against Hearts the following week.
Davis now for Edu. Kovacevic will be first to that, ahead of Lafferty. Oh, Kovacevic has booted Lafferty ridiculously there, and it's going to be a red card for Kovacevic. Boyd up against Kenneth. And Kenny Miller now. It's Miller, and it's off the post, would you believe?
Well, he'll feel that's his last chance gone, Kenny Miller. He did brilliantly. On this surface, Dundee United do the right thing, they push him wide. Well, he almost finds the angle to beat Pernis. Lovely change of pace at this late stage in the game. And that is cruel on Kenny Miller.
The result was one neither side wanted, but that frustrating 90 minutes on Tayside meant the champagne would be put on ice.
Rangers 6-0 up on corners. Thompson takes Lafferty's header, and Rangers have the lead, but to their immense relief, they could be taking a giant step towards the title.
Well, a lad that's taken a lot of stick, not just throughout the season, but this afternoon has just come up with an absolute heat of a goal. So much to do, but he just uses the pace on the corner from Kevin Thompson and guides it inside the near post.
Naismith. McCulloch. And Nacho Novo's onside. Nobody up there with him yet, but Naismith is arriving. Just at the right time, and was he fouled by Jonsson? Yes! Penalty! And Edgar Jonsson is going to be sent off.
Novo come in blindside of Zaliukas, and Stephen Naismith has a tap in there, but for the push in his back.
This delay can't be helping Kenny Miller much. This could clinch it. Kenny Miller. McDonald got a touch on it, but it was too powerful. Nearly there now. Nearly there now.
He just smashes that. Jamie McDonald, it's a decent height for him, but just beaten by the power. He might even have got both his gloves onto that, but wrist just not quite strong enough to deal with that power.
The celebrations at Ibrox continued into the night as players and fans alike gathered for the annual Rangers Player of the Year Awards, a spectacular evening to toast the achievements of the season.
Great to see you all here today. A tremendous night in Prospect, and welcome everyone tonight to the Rangers Player of the Year Awards for 2010. You're most welcome here on behalf of the club. Yeah, a round of applause. It's the Rangers Player of the Year Award. I'm delighted to be joined here on stage by the gentleman who will give his welcome on behalf of the club to you all, and he's delighted that you're all here tonight in such huge numbers here at the Hilton in Glasgow. Would you give a round of applause, please, for the Chief Executive of the club, Martin Bain.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man. It's a phrase we're used to hearing to mark moments of sporting greatness. It's a phrase normally reserved for the biggest names on the biggest stages. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to say that cometh the hour, cometh the man is a phrase that has never been more applicable to the players who have pulled on the Rangers shirt this season.
The 6 nominations for Young Player of the Year are John Fleck, Andrew Little, Jordan McMillan, Jamie Ness, Danny Wilson, and Greg Wild. They all have a great talent, and I'm sure will all be successful in the future, but the player who collects the award this evening is Danny Wilson.
You can do the honours of the presentation. Round of applause for Danny. Thank you.
I've got great pleasure in telling you that the fans' goal of the season is Majid Bagheera against Dundee United. Well done.
I think the Rangers fans all enjoyed it. Can I ask you, you're very popular at Ibrox. I think you appreciate that. You're a very the supporters love you. You can hear it. What does it mean to you playing for this club? But what does it mean to you to play for Rangers?
But when I stand here, my life changed, you know, because it's a big club, and when you do well, all the world watch you. So after game, I have many messages from everyone in the world, you know, because you watch the game, and you know, the fan is fantastic. And when you play in Ibrox, you play all the time full stadium, so it gives you a good push to work and to do well in the pitch.
Very good to win this trophy, and I know Boydi Kenimila scored many goals, so we have more chance to win. I scored 2 goals, and but this day, you know, it was beautiful for me. I think it's my best goal in my life. I remember the ball come from the left, you know. We keep the ball, and I asked to Tomo to give me the ball. He gave me in the middle, so I push forward, you know. And sometimes I give to brothers, you know, or Whitaker. But this day I say no, I need to try something. So I try to dribble, but it come straight away, you know. I don't realize before what I want to do. And in the end I see the goal, the ball in the goal, so I was very happy and very pleased to score the 7th goal.
And our next award is the John Greig Achievement Award.
I've picked a player this year who he doesn't get much publicity. He's quite an assuming person, just like myself. And this year I've given the John Greig Merit Award to Sasha Papac.
What does it mean to you, Sasa, tonight to be recognised by a player of this man's ability, John Greig, and everything that goes with his status at the club? What does this mean to you tonight?
That must be a mistake, John, yeah? No, it's great, really. I'm so happy because I take a present from this man. He is a legend here, and it's a big experience for me, and thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on at this stage in the evening to the area, the Top Goal Scorer Award.
Good evening. Well, I'm sure you're all waiting to see who it is, and I'm sure you all know who it is. He won it last year, and he's back again this year. Obviously, the winner, Chris Boyd.
He's become the highest goal scorer in SPL history. It gives me great pleasure to announce the winner of this season Top Goal Scorer Award. He's on stage already. He's right here. It's Chris Boyd. The Rangers Players Player of the Year Award for 2010 goes to Stephen Davis. And joining me again on stage tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we get to the end, the business end of the evening, he is going to announce the nominees and he will present the award himself. And it's Rangers manager Walter Smith.
Thank you. It's nice to have the privilege to vote or to present the Player of the Year award. This season we have had, I think, quite a number of players who would be deserving of the award. As a manager, I look over, a period of years, not just this season. This season's Player of the Year is someone who has served the club extremely well over the last 2 seasons and half a season in loan. He's just received the previous award. It's Steve Davis.
To be honest, I'm delighted, really. I don't think you can ask for anything else. It's been a good seat. It's been a real team effort from beginning of the season up until now. I mean, I voted for Liam McCulloch myself, personally, and then Davy Weir. So for me personally to win it, I'm delighted.
October, he proved himself more than capable of stepping up to the first team with impressive performances in all competitions beside mentor Davy Weir.
I can't believe what's happening this season in terms of last season I was only playing under 19s football, a couple of reserve games here and there, but then to go and almost like 6 months to a year later and be on the pitch when you're scoring.
It's a big challenge for a young player to come into a team, and especially at a club like Rangers when there's no breathing space and there's not really any room for mistakes, so it's a difficult environment. He's came in, he's played in the Champions League, he's played in Old Firm games, and he's contributed very well, and he's not been fazed by it, so I think he'll have learned a lot from it, and we've benefited from him being there. So I think it's been a great bonus for the team to have him available.
Nothing can compare to this. I mean, just to make my debut this season would have been enough, but to play the games that I have played in, Champions League, Old Firm games, I can't put in words how much this season has meant to me.
That week brought sadness to the club with the passing of another Rangers great. Sammy Baird was an inside forward who made over 170 appearances, winning the title 3 times and scoring 52 goals in the process. The 25th of April was D-Day for Rangers. Tension was in the air as the lucky 800 Rangers supporters made their way to Easter Road. A victory and the SPL trophy would be at Ibrox for a 53rd time.
A 53rd League Championship beckons for Rangers Football Club. Kevin Thompson's corner. David Weir and Kenny Miller reacting to it.
Well, David Weir does well to win it, but look at Lee McCulloch front post. Hips marking man to man. Nobody picking up Lee McCulloch. And Weir struggling under pressure to get enough power to trouble Graham Smith.
Davis, Miller, Lafferty chasing. And Kyle Lafferty advancing! Another terrific goal from Kyle Lafferty! Opened the scoring last week, and he's put Rangers on their way again this week.
Well, it's a terrific finish on the half volley, but not for the first time today. I think Darren McCormack is badly out of position. I mean, both hip centre-backs are having to pick up, so they need cover from the full-backs, and Darren McCormack doesn't see it early enough. And Kyle Lafferty makes a very difficult chance look easy here. As you'd expect, he goes across the goalkeeper, and on the half volley, he manages to find the inside of the far post. It's a terrific finish.
Hanlon and Murray and Hogg all waiting. It's Rankin to deliver. And it was Hanlon, I think, who made contact. McCormack well advanced, hugging the touchline. Wotherspoon. Now Rankin. A lovely return for Wotherspoon.
Best bit of football we've seen all day from Hibs.
Ryden! Smart save indeed from Alan McGregor. Thompson. Papac. It's Morris Edu. Nearly. Corner.
Oh, it took a nick. I just wonder how far wide it is. Nobody getting out to the ball here as Edu gets it out his feet, just trying to hit across that. He took a big deflection as Ian Murray comes off. He turns his back on it.
Nish, foul. Won't count. Foul on McCulloch.
Well, I wonder how much is in that. He certainly asked the question of Lee McCulloch, who's under it. Left hand's up, there's minimal contact, but Willie Collum decides that he's seen enough as the left hand goes up onto Lee McCulloch, and from that angle, he certainly appeared to impede Lee McCulloch's jump. Just there, stops McCulloch getting off the ground. Good call from Willie Collum.
Nish, Rankin. Oh, it's a poor pass. It's party time! They've got that title-winning feeling again! Rangers are champions of Scotland for the 53rd time, and for Walter Smith, it's a 9th title as Rangers manager. It may be a familiar feeling, but it's a brilliant feeling. The titles just keep on coming. The trophies just keep on coming. Walter Smith's 19th major honour as Rangers manager.
Well, today's just been brilliant. The lads worked hard, and just look what it means to the fans and all the players and the coaching staff. It's amazing.
Thoroughly deserved it. You can see today, even near the end of the season, it's been a big push for them. We've asked an awful lot of them over the season. They've been fantastic, and they thoroughly deserve this. I'm just delighted we've managed to get 2 in a row. It's been a fantastic achievement by everyone involved in the footballing side of the club.
Proud moment for the club. Delighted for everybody. Team on the pitch, the team off the pitch. You don't win titles unless everybody's performing. You've got to have people of calibre, not 7 out of 10s, you've got to have 10 out of 10s and everybody that's round about the club. So from my own perspective, I said I'm absolutely delighted. I'm delighted for Walter and the boys. But as I say, the supporters means everything to them. And to win a second championship in a row is testament to the spirit of the football club.
And that's what the fans want. They want their club to be successful, and that's what all us in here try to do. And we've done it. We've got 2 leagues, we've got the CAS, we've got the Scottish Cup, and 4 trophies out of the 6 in 2 years is no bad haul.
The team do very well, and I was very happy to see my team win, to be champion 2 years straight. So it's a good thing for me, the team, the fans, and the club.
A message from Nacho Novo tonight?
Well, I can't say much now because I don't have the trophy yet, but I will say to my friend Magiti, I got the 2nd trophy consecutive. I steal his trophy again. And Samaras, what am I going to say to him? Ha ha ha, Samaras again. But still, we are still the champions, and and the 2nd for me are nothing. So, that's the best thing. We are champions for 2nd time.
It's the best feeling in the world. To please these fans means something. Means a lot. It's great to the players, but it's great to the gaffer as well. So everybody's happy, and we're going to have a really good party.
Again, like I said, coming back here, celebrating with the fans and seeing how much it really means to them, that's like icing on the cake for us. Everyone's going crazy, and just really enjoying the moment.
Oh, it means everything. That's why you're here. That's why you're a Rangers player. Is to, first and foremost, you've got to come up here and you've got to win leagues. And last year, was a was great to reclaim the title, to to get it back to where we think it belongs, and then it's another challenge to try and retain it. So that's the nature of what we do here and what we should be doing here, and the next thing is move on to the next one.
It's been a good season, and it's one where obviously set at the start of the season to regain the league first and foremost, and doing that it makes it adds to the CIS Cup, and it's a terrific season for us.
Yeah, it's been a great achievement, a real team effort from all the boys. I think whenever you look at the circumstance the club's been in over the past season, everything's kind of been stacked against us, and you set out at the start of the season to try and regain the championship. That's the ultimate aim at the beginning of the season. We've managed to do that, and it's just a great effort, really.
The following weekend was one of joy. The Rangers players would receive plaudits from their peers at the SPFA Awards ceremony, but before that brought the chance to make amends for past results at Tannadice.
Well, there's Fleck again. Great tackling in midfield. He looks and he finds Boyd. Boyd! Supreme finish! Well, remarkable finish by Chris Boyd. Boyd, superb finish from the edge of the box. Less than 2 minutes. And he figured his 100th goal. Well, it was a nothing ball for Fleck. He won the challenge in midfield. On his left, Boyd took off. Saw him beautifully, picked his spot, gave Terness no chance at all. Great tackling in midfield from Fleck. Great run from Boyd away to his left, on his right side. Magnificent finish for Chris Boyd. Boyd and Novo, certainly on the same wavelength this afternoon. Linking well together. Novo into the box. Novo, a darting run. Novo! Nacho Novo with a superb finish for Rangers. 5 minutes to go. Set up by Boyd. Finished by Novo in some style. Great run into the box. Why, oh why did they let him get into the box like that? Drilled it home. He had options once he got into the box. Beat his man beautifully. Plenty options here to cut it back to Boyd. No deal. Straight inside the post. Fantastic finish from Novo. Dundee United 0, Rangers 2. It's barely in the quadrant. Oh, and it says in a goal! A goal for United. It's exactly the goal they needed.
Rangers swept the board at the PFA Scotland Awards dinner, with Stephen Davis collecting their Player of the Year award. Danny Wilson was voted the Young Player, and Walter Smith's achievements were recognised as he received the Manager of the Year award. Majid Bouguera's remarkable solo effort against Dundee United also won Goal of the Season. There was little meaning to the final Old Firm game of the season as Rangers travelled to Parkhead as champions, but there was still disappointment in defeat and some controversial decisions.
Naylor's gone for it, and it's took a little nick on the way, I think. Celtic make a storming start as they look to regain some pride. Stephen Davis, Whittaker calling for it and receiving it. Kenny Miller! You can always rely on him on Derby Day in Glasgow. Oh yes you can. Perfect cross from Whittaker. Cracking header from Miller. The champions level.
Well, I've got to say Mark Wilson has had a terrific 42 minutes up until now. But he just loses Kenny Miller here. Kenny Miller on his way already. Mark Wilson caught under the ball. And Kenny Miller still had a lot to do. He has to get so much of his neck into that.
Approaching the 45 minutes, but a few minutes to be added on. Naylor's cross. Fortuné! And it's slipped past Alexander. And Celtic are back in front in a pulsating Old Firm encounter. Miller pounces upon it. Nacho Novo. Kenny Miller against the post incredibly.
unbelievable. Rangers looking for handball. I don't think Callum Murray could have spotted this because he wouldn't have allowed an advantage. Well, I'll tell you what, Darnadee's left arm is away from his body. Seen him given for that. How much Callum Murray saw of it, I'm not quite sure.
McGeady, Lee McCulloch's going to be off here. Second yellow equals red, and we did get a red card right at the end.
But again, Callum Murray, I don't think there's a choice here. I think he felt that Aidan McGeady felt Whittaker initially. Well, I'll tell you what, from that angle, there's very little contact there. Looked as if he had caught Aidan McGeady. There's practically no contact at all.
That left one game to play, and the visit of Motherwell to Ibrox when Rangers would finally get their hands on the SPL trophy.
Boyd. Naismith. It's returned to Boyd, shadowed by Saunders. Boyd! Swiveling and scoring. Doing what he does best. Natural-born finisher.
Yeah, looked as though he'd lost his opportunity, but I think his strength and his balance just kept him on his feet here. The layoff, he's then in behind. This is where it gets difficult for him. He's trying to hold off Saunders. He's quite happy to turn on his left side and drill it home. Finds the target. That's what Boyd is good at.
Miller. Naismith. Lafferty! 2-0 to the champions. And Kyle Lafferty continues his end-of-season scoring spree.
Look at Lafferty's position. He knows it's wide. He's got to get into the box. Boyd's run is important as well. Takes the defender away to the front post. And there's Lafferty coming in behind.
O'Brien. Terrific run here from Jim O'Brien. Murphy! They are back in the game early in the second half. Nacho Novo is away from Cragen. Novo is going to go for this himself, is he? Boyd, and Lafferty will score. His second of the game. 3-1 now to the champions.
Great control here, but once he gets away from Cragen, there's no way back for the Motherwell defender. He drives inside and he wants to go himself. It looked as though he'd lost it there, but that's not an effort at goal. That's a ball from a striker knowing that he's lost the best possible chance.
Vukovic. And Jennings has advanced and Alexander has blocked it again. Jennings given another opportunity and that is going to go in. What a bizarre goal. 3-2. Haitley. Murphy. Penalty. Alexander took him out. Extraordinary stuff. Well, Rosfall's missed from the spot against him. It's Lukas Vukovic. He scores again in injury time. And after a 6-6 in midweek, it's now a 3-3 for Motherwell.
The 3-3 draw was a slightly disappointing way to end it all, but the scoreline didn't dampen the fans' buoyant spirits as they eagerly awaited the presentation of the Clydesdale Bank Premier League trophy.
David Weir edging his way through. David Weir will be 40 tomorrow. How's this for a present? And how's this for a party?
At the end of the day, we're not happy about not winning the game, but this is what we started out to achieve at the beginning of the season, so we're delighted with that.
It's been a great day today. Always is when you're collecting a trophy. We did a fortnight for it.
now we've got it, we're delighted, and I think everyone's a good afternoon, some good football today, and the presentation at the end just caps it all.
There's been a lot of things stacked against us this season in terms of the size of the squad and the manager not being able to bring in players and different things, and maybe makes this one a wee bit more sweeter than last year, even though we won the last year's in the final day of the season. So we're just delighted to win it back to back.
Everything we've done, we try to do for the fans and try to, give them something to be proud of, and I think we did that. So now to be back here celebrating back at Ibrox is just a tremendous feeling.
Another double for Rangers, and we're delighted with that. We'll enjoy tonight. As I said, it's just great to go over the finish line a couple of weeks ago, and we'll enjoy this tonight.
The fans have been fantastic all season, really been brilliant, and for them to enjoy this moment, for the players to enjoy it, and the kids to enjoy it, it's just a bit special. It really is special.
Been 6 magnificent years here, and it will be heartbroken when I leave this. Look like it is need to move on, but I love this club, and I will love it till I die, definitely.
I must say that over the years that I've been involved with these lads, I'm proud of every one of them. They've been fantastic for us. They've got a terrific winning spirit, and they've shown that.
The final SPL standing saw Rangers victorious, 6 points clear on 87 points, with a plus 54 goal difference. That's why we're champions was the favourite refrain of the joyous supporters, as Rangers claimed their second successive SPL title for the first time in a decade, and a world record 53rd title in their history, against all of the odds and a backdrop of uncertainty in an incredible 2009-10 campaign. What Walter Smith and his team had managed was incredible, and surely goes down as one of his greatest achievements.
I think if you're fortunate enough to be involved in one or two, then you always say, that's great because it's 9. People say, well, you must have favourite ones, but you don't, because I don't think you can separate any of them. You're just delighted that you've had a team that has been motivated, that has shown the consistency that's required, and shown the ability that's required to win a championship. And each of the seasons that we have won them, we've deserved to win them. And I would say that, that's the thing. Many things come up over a season, like refereeing decisions, other aspects like that. But if you're good enough, you'll win it, regardless of the other circumstances. And I feel we've been good enough this season, and we've deserved to win it. And it ranks alongside all the rest of them. As one that I've thoroughly enjoyed.
This will be classic. Oh, it's brilliant.
And the goal from Lee McCulloch. How about that? Edu has put it in. Maurice Edu, right at the end. And Rangers take a
Thank you.